Okay, we have a quorum. We'll call the Liberty Town Board to, Liberty Grove Town Board to order. The clerk will note that all supervisors are present tonight. Back up to full speed, and welcome back, Hugh. And in addition, that the clerk and administrator sound system is not on. Thanks.
Oh, who was playing with this thing now?
Nothing new.
The switch is on in the cabinet in there. What's she mumbling about?
Christmas carols, I didn't know where that came from.
Not that cold. This is deja vu. We have our loyal supporters.
Last night all over again. Groundhog's Day or something like that.
Can you hear me now?
No,
It died.
yeah, Frank turned down, everybody else is in.
For good reason, Frank's turned down.
That one was giving us grief for a while back.
We may have to speak with our theater voice.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. What'd you do, Janet?
She gave it a dirty look.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Can you hear all right now? All right. In addition to the administrator, we have the office assistant and treasurer. Welcome, people. Thank you for coming. Cell phones, please either turn them on vibrate or off. And a reminder again to the board to speak directly into the microphone so that the YouTube can hear us as well. Would you please rise and join me on the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Forkert. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. We then have the minutes of the August 20th board meeting. Are there any additions to those, or changes to those, please? Seeing none, I'll move their approval as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Gaz. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Then we have the minutes, of the special board meeting on the, I got ahead of myself. Special board meeting of September 3rd.
I move we approve the minutes of the special board meeting of September 3rd.
Is there a second? I'll second. Supervisor Forkert made the motion to approve as presented. Chairman Lowry seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have the minutes of August 14th.
I move approval of the minutes for August 14th, 2014.
Motion by Supervisor Gaz. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Supervisor Cavazos. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is carried. How do we get so many meetings? Oh, goodness.
Budget.
Yeah, and then we have the board meeting of August 20, the special board meeting, excuse me, with the Finance Committee. of August 26th. I will move their approval as presented. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Gaz. All in favor indicated by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And then we have the special board meeting of the Finance Committee with the Board of September 3rd.
I'll move we approve the minutes of the September meeting.
I'll second. Motion by Cavazos, seconded by Lowry. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, treasurer's report. Janet?
In the municipal checking account, we began with a balance of $449,500.31. Transfer to checking and interest brought that balance to $199,517.24. The money market account, a little interest posted, bringing that balance to $210,619.26. In the checking account, we began with a balance of $63,682.78. Deposits and transfers, and that included our August settlement from the county. Less FICA payroll and disbursements at the end of August brought that account to $292,077.54. The utility district funds have $250,893.57. And in the North Shore Money Market account, we have we started with $250,589.45. After interest, the balance in that account is $250,605.38, with a balance at the end of August in all town accounts of $1,203,712.99.
Any questions? If not, I'll move approval as presented.
Second?
Seconded by Forkert. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. And then we have the bills. Are there any questions on the bills? If not, I'll move the approval of the bills as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mulligan. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is the One Touch mailing, is that the kitchen? Yes?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, public input. Any general comments? Anybody want to?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Anybody want to address any particular item on the agenda?
Could I ask you a question, John?
Sure.
Where do we stand on the ash trees at the park now?
We're gonna, I've just asked Bud to get a resolution together for the next board meeting. And basically, you wanna read what we've got written down there? And then we'll address it at the next meeting.
All right.
You wanna make comment on what's there?
You want me to read Lou's writing?
Oh,
I haven't been able to study it yet. No, I got it. A resolution to protect the financial integrity of the town in a newly paved road, to honor the heritage of property donated by renowned landscape architect Jens Jensen. Resolve, the town respectfully requests to be included as part of the conversation regarding the possible renovation, removal of ash trees in Door Bluff Headlands County Park.
okay.
Can I comment, John? I understand the Parks Committee has recommended to the town board that those ash trees be removed in 3 stages starting this year. And that they will just go ahead. I believe the county board has approved that.
I did, it just last
There
meeting.
seems to be a little discussion on that.
Ostad was waffling on it the other night. He wouldn't commit. So I've heard it from two sources that it's a done deal. The other night in Surgeon Bay, I heard that, well, maybe. So,
I can personally attest that I have at least 2 times spoke to members of the Airport Parks Committee, Chuck Brand one time, and the chair of that committee the next time, to ask specifically, before a decision was finalized, that Liberty Grove be in on the conversation, and we were not.
Yeah, I talked to them once, and I talked to Brand again too, but they went ahead anyway at the last Parks meeting.
We
Okay.
demand to be heard.
So we'll address it at the next board meeting then.
So is
Formally,
is the
informally.
board take any kind of position of what should be done there or not?
Before,
Yeah,
we asked to be kept in the loop.
Yeah.
And basically, I think our point is that it's the county park. It's their basic call, but our concern was with the new paving of the road, that every precaution be taken not to damage that road.
yeah.
And they know that it should be in freeze-down situations
yeah,
only.
yeah.
And actually, they could come out by taking the other route around the old road.
But that was all a part of the conversation we
Conversation, yeah.
wanted to be part of.
Part of, yeah, and they went right ahead.
I talked to, the forester about it, and, he was, or no, I did not. I talked to the chairman, new chairman of the Parks Committee, I can't remember his name now, and the new Parks Director, and they both said that, relayed the info that the forester had said that the road, a newly paved road this fall should not be, have logging trucks hauling stuff on it. So I suggested a detour, and they were in favor of that.
Okay, yes, Mike? Sure, please.
Michael Mercier, 12054 Highway 42, Ellison Bay. As you all know, I was here last night for your meeting and the joint finance and board meeting. I just thought I'd share with you, and I'm just bringing these points up just as maybe, hopefully it helps. As a citizen sitting here last night, just some of the things, and I'm not gonna take a position either way on these issues. I just wanted to mention to you which issues kind of struck a chord with me as I sat here last night and watched you guys work so hard to try to figure this whole thing out. First, I wanted to start with I think having the trucks outside at your presentations is an excellent idea and is absolutely something that should happen often. More people need to be aware of what's got to be paid for as far as that equipment goes. I don't think, as we saw with Ms. Wallace, I think a lot of people are in her position and not really getting that whole deal. So that's a great idea, and I hope you guys follow through with that. And again, these other items, I know they can be sensitive items, especially working in the corporate world again now, but I just wanted to bring them up to you as, again, things that as a citizen piqued my interest when you discussed them. Number one was the health insurance and the cost incurred by the town there, and the fact that the employees only pay, I shouldn't say only, that's not fair, that they pay, what was it, 12 or 15% of that. I consider the coverage I have at my place of employment now to be stellar, but to think that they would pay that much of that premium they wouldn't even consider that. So I guess I wanted to agree with Ms. Wallace in her kind of taken abackness, and I understood you guys filled in with all the statistics about, that kind of seems to be the norm, but again, just wanted to offer you my thoughts that sitting here in the crowd, that was just something that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I really am proud of the town that we did not consider doing away with the recycling. And I applaud you for continuing to try to find a way to keep that in there. I think that's very important. Another thing, again, that just kind of piqued my interest, again, I draw a lot of parallels now with where I am currently employed and the overtime thing, which is a high cost that's incurred by a lot of folks. And again, I'm not gonna take a stand either way on that. Again, that was just an item that came up in discussions that piqued my interest a little bit. And I also appreciate and am glad that there seems to be genuine concern regarding the marina and doing whatever we can to pull that off, particularly with the improvements that have been made by the neighbors there. It certainly makes sense, living in the community and the tourism-driven nature of where we are, that we would, no matter what kind of straits we're in, we would try our hardest to make sure that we can fix that thing up and make that a viable asset for our community. And I was happy to hear that. And lastly, I just wanted to mention as well, and again, this is just a kind of a perception thing, and it's not at all how I feel, but I follow closely the online calendar, and I also get my mail every day in Ellison Bay. I understand that everybody's busy and has a lot going on, but I think if you want the general public to jump on board with what you got going, we gotta be as consistent as we can with that stuff. There was the one night I showed up at 6, and because we had 2 different times, we had to wait an hour, and last night's meeting was posted at the post office, but it was not on the internet calendar. That just, again, I know nobody's trying to pull any wool over anybody's eyes, but that perception, unfortunately, with others may be different. If that's just the politest way I can put it. So I just would really encourage you to try to get that stuff straightened out so that there's no questioning whether you really do or don't want people to show up at these meetings. And again, I'm not being critical. I hope nobody takes that comment personally at all. I know we're all busy and have a lot going on, but just another observation I've made over the last few weeks. Thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
One quick question, Michael.
Yeah.
You feel that they pay too much or too little for health insurance?
You know, again, Hugh, I don't really have an opinion either way. It's just, again, with where I am now employed, it's something that, it's a real driving force as to why I took the job that I recently took. Because trying to pull that insurance thing off as an independent business owner, where you have to pay 100% of those costs, and we have a lot of those kind of folks around here, and if a bunch of them were sitting here last night and heard that the town employees only have to pay for 15 or 12% or whatever it is of that premium, I think a lot of them would have had the same response Ms. Wallace had, where she seemed visibly to me a bit taken aback by that number. I wouldn't say that I am. I would have to do more research. I have no idea what kind of coverage it is. I don't know what the deductibles are and so on. But comparing it to what I have now, where I work, I feel like my coverage is stellar, but, you know, I think it's pretty much half and half as far as what they take out of my pay to cover that and then what they pay. So again, I'm sure there's a lot of differences. Lampert's has a lot more employees than the town of Liberty Grove does. So, you know, I know that's not a real apples to apples deal, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I could see how that bit of information, if enough people found out or realized that, they might scratch their heads a little bit on the town being in a financial situation. I don't know what the total numbers are, but, you know, as we all know, it's a very costly expense for anybody that's in business or trying to run any sort of a kind of corporate shaped, you know, deal. And again, it was just something that I thought I'd share with you, that as a citizen, others it might pike a little bit of interest in their mind as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else? Okay, let's then go on to number 8, committees consider name change. The IT committee has requested a change to Technology Committee.
Being on the committee, we have some members with broad technical background, not only in IT, but other things. And the committee was asked to look into charging stations for automobiles. So we feel as though we're getting beyond this. We were obviously shot down in the budget discussion time before last. But I think there's an overlap with economic development, and that's why Dave Studebaker, our chairman, is also on that committee. So I think it just broadens out the base of number of people that we can get on these committees that know something that can help us move in the right ways where it seems appropriate.
You want to make that motion?
I move that the board approve the request from the IT committee to change the name from Information Technology Committee to Technology Committee.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Seconded by Gaz. Any discussion?
Save a little bit of ink every time you print it.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
no paper though.
All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion is carried. On to number 9, consider bench placement on Grandview parcel. This is, who's got this one?
It's a request from the land trust to place a memorial bench
Oh, it's-
in the Grandview Park. Where it's going, I don't know.
Right now, I think they're talking about putting it by the kiosk, but I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Do we know whom the bench is dedicated?
Sampson?
No,
No?
it's that other.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Can't think
That
of
other,
the
okay,
name.
yeah. Who
Gustafson,
is that?
Lundgren, Gustafson?
Gustafson.
It's somebody that the land trust was involved with, and they've made a request for a bench to be put
I
there.
think it was Gustafson.
Is that just one of those cedar guys that,
Pardon?
the bench is just one of those cedar guys or what?
I think so, yeah, yeah.
They're using a standard design for all of the benches, the memorial benches. And what they're doing is basically replacing the Leopold benches with the memorial benches. And they've limited it to
6.
7, I think.
7 or 8. 4 of which will go by the kiosk.
Okay.
So you're saying the coastal byways kiosk, Gary?
No, their kiosk,
Oh, their kiosk.
yeah.
Well, it's their coastal byways kiosk. At the-
Well, is it, I don't know, is it a coastal byways kiosk?
Yeah, it's a
or is it
coastal,
land
there are
trust
2
kiosk?
coastal byways there, one out by the road and the other by the cedars.
It's a coastal byways.
It's going by the one by the log cabin.
Right,
not by-
right.
Not the one
Right,
by the
yeah,
road.
right.
Be pretty churlish of us to refuse, I would think.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request by the land trust to place a bench at the Grandview parcel.
I'll second that.
Further discussion?
They were the instrumental group to get that together, right?
Yeah,
Basically.
Well,
Yeah.
Scenic Byways Committee got the big giant.
yeah, yeah. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Consider source of funds for budgetary mailing. Janet?
Up on the screen, I've listed all the different costs for the mailing that went out. And the 2 ads, I called and I got the price for a quarter-page ad in each one. We don't have to do those if you don't want to, but it was suggested that we would. And that's the total cost of this mailing. Where's the money gonna come from?
When's this gonna happen?
We've got them all stuffed. They'll be mailed out on the 29th.
That's kind of a little premature if you're looking for support for an override.
They want them to be in everybody's hands 3 weeks before the 2 different days of meetings when people come here. And they have an opportunity to ask questions about the information. So they'll be in people's hands 3 weeks before those informational meetings.
Where do you suggest those funds come from, Janet?
Contingency, there is no other place to take it
From what?
from. Contingency,
It certainly qualifies.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think it's a little premature. I think it should be maybe 2 weeks or so, not 3 weeks.
There's a delay in mailing too.
well,
One of the thoughts behind the mailing was that there might be people who would stay longer, who would normally have gone before November 17th. So that if they got that even a week earlier, it is on the website now anyway, if they got it a week earlier, they may stay because their interest would be involved. I know that was one of the considerations for 3 weeks there.
right. Also, we're using the mailings, the labels came from the, real property. So there are gonna be some of these that actually go to maybe a Florida address that will get shipped back to the local address by forwarding.
So is that the big pile of stuff in the other room over there?
Yes,
I looked at the top one, it's to the Guilfords, and I know the Guilfords are not voters here in Door County, are they?
it doesn't matter if you're a registered voter, if
Mhm.
you're an elector, and they are an elector based on the fact that, well, I don't know if they have a house on their property,
They do, I designed it.
but if they have a house on their property, they are an elector.
Okey-doke.
So
And
I,
28 days residency before the
Right.
special meeting.
Right.
yeah.
Continuous.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the amount of $2,960 for the budget informational mailing to be taken from the contingency account.
Is
I
there a second?
that.
Motion by Forkert, seconded by Gaz. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Number 11, consider approval of review of the 2014 financial accounts by Schenck Firm.
Should just sit here tonight.
Yes, you should.
Shank sent over their engagement letter for the upcoming year to do our 2014 review audit. The cost will be to review the general fund, 5,000, to prepare the Form C, 500, and then the utility district preparation is 2,600. I believe, aren't these the same as last year?
I think that's correct.
So there's not an increase. The utility district pays their own out of their fund, so we don't pay that.
Is that what we budgeted yesterday, Bud?
I think we had 48 or 5,800 in there, didn't we? I don't remember exactly. I got one of them. There's one of them right here. I know we had 4,800 in there at one time, but that might have gotten changed.
That was probably, what's the 5,000 part of it?
Wait, that's on,
I think it's on the front page.
we budgeted 48. We can look at that next week and give that a change as well,
$700 late.
because we didn't have this paperwork when that number was put in there, so.
I move the board authorize the Schenck Firm to review and audit our 2014 financial accounts in the total amount of $8,100.
Is there a second?
I'd like
I'll
to
s-
ask, go ahead, are you gonna second it?
Yeah. I'll second.
I'd like to
Okay.
ask a question.
Yes, go ahead. It was Forkert,
Will this
Gaz.
be an audit again, another audit, basically?
No,
No.
this is basically a maintenance. It's not a full audit at all. when we decided to go ahead with the audit, and in this case, getting the Schenck firm, we also made the decision that it would be a smart thing to have them come back in on a yearly basis
Okay.
and take if you will, a short look at what's going on and not do a full audit again.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the price is the same? That's the question I have.
I don't,
Last year, they did a review.
They did a
didn't do
review.
Yeah, it was the year before, it was an audit.
Correct.
That was-
Oh,
that
okay,
was quite a bit
okay.
more.
Wow, time flies. Okay.
and there probably will come a point in time somewhere out in the future that will, the town will want to, again, go through a full audit, but,
I don't believe there's any legal requirement on the town to do that.
no, there is not.
There's not.
There is not. There is not. We just, I think at the time felt it probably was a smart thing to do, and actually, it did help because we changed some internal bookkeeping things that we're doing.
And they helped us with
Made it a lot
software,
easier.
Everything else to make it much more efficient.
In some respects,
And they did the Form C, so Bud didn't have to do it.
Janet didn't have to do it. Bud didn't have to do it for a few years. Now Janet.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Consider ordinance authorizing the clerk administrator to issue temporary Class B and Class B picnic licenses, and I think I saw that somewhere here.
We've had two instances now within the last month, actually, where these applications have come in, and we didn't get them on a board agenda. One, we forgot to put it on, and the other one came in between meetings, so we had to call a special meeting for that. There is provision in the statutes for the board to authorize an individual to issue these temporary Class B licenses. They're only good for a couple of days for gatherings, to bona fide organizations. So in order to avoid people holding an event without a license because we couldn't meet to do it, or removing the burden, let's say, of trying to scramble and get together and have a meeting real quick. It's possible by statute to do it according to this ordinance. And if you want to have somebody else do it on there, other than the clerk and the chairman, that works too.
Sure, I would like to have Nancy do it too.
You want to do it?
No, what's that? Nancy.
I have a question on the fee. Is that a standard fee we charge?
Correct.
Oh, it's statutory? Oh, okay.
It is a fee.
And if they do both at one is beer and one is wine. If they do both, we can only do 10 minimum. If they do one, we do 10. If they do two, we do 10.
So we do
State
10 no matter
statute.
what?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have no problem with the concept here, but in terms of, is it often that the need for these licenses come up so quickly that there's not enough? That
No.
people just sort of wait around until a few days before they need them? Because it seems to me that if if the fee is statutory, then there's maybe nothing we can do about it. But to me, the last minute people who come in should be charged more for their tardiness, it seems.
Well, I don't think the second one was last minute. It was on the board agenda, but the power went out.
Power went out.
Well, it would be for circumstances beyond the control of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
petitioner or the issuer there. Because, people get in the habit, they must know they're gonna need this license
Yeah,
at least weeks ahead of time,
I think-
where a normal board cycle would be enough time.
We're talking about serving beer at the women's club, right? Is that what,
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who would even think you'd need a license to do that?
exactly. I
The
think a
state.
lot of these people, they
They
don't
don't
know,
know.
they don't think in their head, well, gee, it's a great thing, let's.
Everyone
have
serves beer there.
And they don't know that they need a license.
Yeah.
Right.
Except in Ephraim, where you need a license just to breathe.
Let's not go there.
I move we authorize the clerk administrator to issue temporary Class B and Class B picnic licenses.
And town chairman.
It's been changed.
You should,
Okay, and
No,
to
actually,
you just adopt the ordinance.
ordinance, yeah.
Ordinance,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I move we adopt the ordinance.
Three dash.
3-14.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Forkert, seconded by Gaz. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Roll call.
Oh, roll
please.
call, I'm sorry.
Mulligan,
Yes,
Forkert,
Yes,
Goss,
Aye.
Kabatzos,
Yes.
Lowry,
Yes.
carries 5-0.
Okay, 13, consider reaffirmation of position regarding tower height ordinance. Everybody saw the communication from,
Yeah.
okay. We don't really have much to say about
Sure,
it.
what do you do with that? Yeah.
can the board just send a letter saying the board feels as though we want to leave the tower height at 125 feet, particularly in our town, because the distance is having to be reached?
Well, after reading that communication, I'm thinking that that's a moot point.
Yeah, it sounds like the state is even
There is no
superseding
control.
the county's wishes. There is no control over it, the
Okay.
state says.
I mean, we could, obviously could, because I think we felt,
Can we send a letter to the state too?
that's an uphill battle.
yeah.
You have to be 45 feet from a lot line, that's the basic rules for a tower. In short,
Well, it used to be 75 feet in the county, then the county went to 125. And that's
Well,
what
no, he,
the
he
state.
said from lot line,
That's the
45
distance
feet.
away from the
Yeah.
lot line.
We're talking height.
You're talking height,
about
right? Yeah.
I think there's much you can do about it.
No, we've been usurped.
Preempted.
Again,
this,
I'd like to see us send letters. Can't hurt.
Not gonna do you good.
Well,
yeah, might as well.
you wanna read it?
You
Well,
tell
we
me
need a
where to
motion
send
one
it.
way or the other here.
Well, my motion would be that the town is powerless over what's gonna happen here, so just drop the whole issue for the time being.
Is there a second?
You can't make a motion not to do anything, according to Robert's rules.
Well,
We just pass
the
it.
motion would have to be to not reaffirm the town's position.
You said to drop the motion, he moves to drop the height issue.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Does, now, in Mariah's communication, she said that the county, the RPC is going to be discussing this on the 16th, right? What are
Yeah.
they going to be discussing if the state has their guidelines and they supersede not only the height, but placement of? They even run over some of the county current guidelines of clustering towers by saying they can be placed anywhere. I don't know,
I don't know. Well,
Maybe the letter should go to the RPC as the first step.
well, I think, okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we table this pending the decision at the county level.
I would second that.
yeah.
And that gives us, I don't know what that gives us, other than finding out what they're gonna do, if anything. Okay?
I still think we should.
It's a table.
Yes.
motion,
Gotta
it's
vote,
yes or
gotta
no.
vote on the table.
Yeah, yeah. Roll call.
Is there a second?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Nancy seconded,
No, Lou.
I second.
or Lou seconded, I'm sorry.
Mulligan,
Aye,
Forkert,
Nay,
Goss,
Aye.
Cavazos,
Aye.
Lowry.
Aye. Okay. Operator licenses?
There are none.
There are none. And I'm assuming there's not any correspondence?
I have a whole basket full here. We have.
Try as we may.
No, it's very late. We have received or are receiving our $255 exempt computer payment that we calculated last fall. Our original shared revenue for this year is $20,442. We'll be getting our final check in November. Our elevator will be inspected at the fire station. We got a notice that it needs to be inspected, and our inspection firm takes care of that. September report of the Towns Association. The Health Department and/or others suggested a voluntary testing of well waters after that downfall of humongous rain a couple weeks ago. So we tested the Town Hall and the Women's Club, and they both came back safe for coliform, which was the concern. And the Land Trust is going ahead with some native revegetation project at the Grandview down next to the pond area. We're gonna meet down there and just take a look at, see we're gonna be doing that in the near future.
Do you know who's gonna be doing that? Is that
got-
Landscapes of Place?
I got the stuff here. They got some kind of estimate or communication from some outfit in Milwaukee.
Sounds, Nancy Ayton from Landscapes of Place, I bet it is.
I'm not sure, I don't know what the name of it is, but
It seems weird, somebody from Milwaukee's gonna come up and do that?
it's not in this stuff here. It must have been in the email or somewhere that I saw something on who that was gonna be, and it seems to me it was a Milwaukee outfit, but it's not in the stuff that
I
printed off.
think they are a Milwaukee outfit, but she and her husband own property here in Dark County.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to know more about it and be kept advised as to when there's gonna be a meeting on it.
There
Yeah.
is going to be a meeting on it that you're aware, oh, okay.
Terry had wanted to know if we wanted to meet down there with her, and I said yes.
Sure.
Nancy was-
I haven't heard back on that one.
Did you catch that?
No idea.
Terry has wondered if we wanted to meet with him, and Bud responded yes, but we have not heard back.
Okay, all right.
Okay, future meetings?
Fire board meeting, Friday the 19th, not Monday the 19th like the agenda said that I got. It's good to see somebody else do that goof up too, instead of me. The shredding and recycling day is Saturday from 9 to 1,
Which Saturday?
the 20th coming up.
Okay.
Tuesday, the 23rd, special board and finance at 6:30. Plan commission at 7 o'clock. We did get a variance in today. I need to get that out in the mail tomorrow to the adjacent neighbors. It's a request to put up a cottage or a house, I believe, on a substandard lot of 96 feet, where the lot is supposed to be 150 feet, so the paperwork just came in today.
Any paperwork or any correspondence from the county regarding the request?
Just the forms to fill out, and they just got it today too, I believe, so that's all I've got. Town board, Wednesday the 1st, 7 PM. Are we going to have that, or go to once a month and not have that?
I'll be in the hospital that particular date.
Do we want to eliminate that meeting? Then let's,
Well, if we are hearing a variance, it probably should be going to the board right after that, unless
There-
we have time to hit the board before RPC, or before Board of Adjustment gets it.
Yeah, they said they wouldn't be sending out notices. The earliest it would be noticed would be October 15th.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
we got plenty of time then.
So we got, if the board meets on the 15th here, we got time. We got highway scheduled for October 6th.
But you didn't answer the first question. You gonna have a meeting or not on the first?
No, unless something critical comes up, I think,
So on Wednesday, October 1st, no time.
right now, no.
GODTC on the 2nd at 10.
Sturgeon Bay.
We got highway scheduled up for the 6th at 8 o'clock, but I'm kind of doubting if that will happen. Plan commission again, October 8th at 7 o'clock. The focus group on the budget, October 9 at 6:30 PM.
6:30, okay, I've got 7.
There's a flu clinic here on Friday, October 10th, from 11 to 12. $30 unless you're a Medicare person. Town Board, the 15th of October at 7 PM. And it was mentioned, the RPC is talking about tower height on the 16th of October. The 21st and 23rd, open informational meetings here at 1 and 7 PM both days. On the 21st, there's also an open house at the Door County Highway Department in Sturgeon Bay.
Fish boil too.
For what?
For the Highway Department,
They do it every year.
County Highway Department.
Yeah, I know, an open house.
to come in and look at the highways,
Tuesday, Thursday,
the
October
highways, the
2nd.
trucks.
The patrol trucks.
The patrol trucks, yes, thanks, Gary, good man.
House. Calendar down there.
October 30th, there's going to be another meeting at the South Station of the, on the Sister Bay project that's coming up next year.
Doesn't that conflict with Halloween? I'm just kidding you.
That's a day earlier.
30th?
It'll be scary enough, though.
What's gonna be discussed, Bud?
The Sister Bay project and what the village is going to try to do to
Create business.
create business for the village to make up for what's going to be lost during the project. There were some ideas thrown around a couple weeks ago at a meeting like that.
7 or 6?
3 PM. Looking ahead on November 7th, there's a household hazardous waste collection at the fire station in Sister Bay.
Does that include paint cans?
Yes.
What was the date of that again?
Not latex paint, though.
Oil.
Latex paint, you just pop the lid off, let it dry out, and put it in your garbage.
Okay.
But they haven't given me a time. They just
Okay.
told me what day it would be, but they don't know the time yet.
Could you let us know what they consider will take?
No.
As soon as we know the date,
What
we'll
have you
we'll
got,
get it.
Frank?
I got paint
Okay.
up the guts.
And
Remember the I got milk?
Yeah.
I got paint.
Saturday, the 8th, is the clean sweep in Sturgeon Bay at the highway department down there. So if you miss it here, you can, I guess you could go down there. And looking further ahead, on the November 17th, again, is the budget hearing, special town meeting, and the special board meeting regarding the budget.
Okay.
You want to tentatively schedule a Parks and Property the beginning of October?
7th, 8 o'clock?
Yep.
Yours truly forgot to put together a rule tonight.
A rule?
Rule number, I forgot totally. I move we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.